few days away from the 2017 Goodwood Festival of Speed presented by MasterCard, and we've come to the home of one of the most successful Grand Prix teams in the history of Formula One, Williams Grand Prix Engineering. The team celebrates its 40th anniversary in 2017. We're going to get a unique insight into the workings of the Heritage Department, where some of the team's most famous cars that won countless Grand Prix and 16 World Championships are fettled ahead of the event.
Well, the Williams Grand Prix Collection, or museum as we leisurely call it, is a timeline exhibit of our history in the World Championship, starting with the FW06 of 1978, and we have all the way through to the 2016 FW38. At the end of each season, we look into our factory, look to our race team to identify the car that has the most significant history from that season for representation of that model in our museum.
You never get bored. I mean, I've obviously been here a lot, but there's still a wow factor. Every time you walk in here, you know, every car here chronologically, starting with this one, of course, you know, very important car, the FW06.
That's the beginning of Williams.
The beginning of Williams. And that obviously started off the process that led to the FW07 and then eventually the 7B, which won the World Championship with Alan Jones, the first World Championship for Williams, which, you know, if you think about it, you know, going back in time, how often do you see a team go from there, starting out, and within 4 years, 3 years really, being world champions? It doesn't happen these days, does it? It just doesn't happen.
Well, 2017 represents the 40th anniversary of Williams. We now have this opportunity created through Williams Heritage to expand upon the cars, to try and find homes and opportunities for those cars, for that history beyond the normal racing cycle for a car, and therefore ensuring that these great Williams cars continue to have a life and, importantly, a scene, and perhaps more importantly, a running on track, which of course is the best place and the greatest place for them. So that's our ambition, and of course events such as the Festival of Speed and our own 40th anniversary celebrations at Silverstone only a few weeks ago are a perfect and very welcome opportunity for just that.
I'm really excited to be going to Goodwood this year as the official Williams Heritage driver again. I've been going every year since 2010, driving different Williams cars, and this year we've got Red 5. One of the most iconic Williamses, probably the most iconic Williams in F1 history.
FW14B, 10 wins, 9 for Nige.
And the technology, Henry, is so far ahead of its time. You look at it, it's got blown diffuser, it's got active suspension, traction control, launch control. It was such a revolutionary car. I've been so lucky to drive this car already at Silverstone, and I'm really excited to drive it at Goodwood.
So over my shoulder is the 14B. It's not an easy car. This car has taken a lot of grafting to get to the stage it's at now. It's ran at Silverstone last week. We're very pleased with the way it's gone, and we're now getting ready for Goodwood. So after our Silverstone run, we now have to come back to the workshop to strip the car down ready for Goodwood. It may seem over the top from a lot of people, but these are the preparations we have to do. You know, we're now pulling the gearbox apart to check all the ratios. This car hasn't run since '92, so we find it very difficult to maintain it. One of the main problems we have is the electronics. You know, the tower block behind me is actually '92 vintage. It runs on MS-DOS.
The philosophy and the principle behind it, so far ahead of its time, keeping platform control, keeping the pitch control and the aerodynamics stable. And then you had the blown diffuser out the back. So you needed a driver like Nigel to have the confidence with it. You know, when you turn the wheel in to Stowe Corner, the car does this sort of movement as the outside wheel comes up to keep the platform stable. But so you have to have the confidence that the car's going to move and you're still going to attack the entry. And then from mid-corner, the car sort of pitches forward to keep the nose down. But you have to again have the belief to attack the throttle and get the blown diffuser working. You know, this was the most dominant car.
Our preparation for Goodwood, it goes on and on. You know, I really enjoy it. It's actually, let's say, one of the highlights of the year for me. You're giving back something to the fans who go to Grand Prix, never really get to see the drivers. You see a car go around a corner, that's about it. Whereas Goodwood, they can actually stand within 18 inches of the car.
Williams at 40 years old has been a great journey so far. Great successes, a great privilege to have had such people come through this team, because that to me is really what it's all about. And I see no reason why we can't go on for another 40 or even more. And I think we're on the right track. I think we can build further successes to add to the history of success which we have in this room. And we're all looking forward to it, and we're all really up for the challenge of that. We just maybe need a bigger museum.